we will have a very healthy life. Unfortunately, why we are not looking at what the Creator Himself is prescribing for us? If we just closely look back to the Quran, the do's and don'ts, the guidelines, the commandments that the Creator Himself gives for the humans, are we analyzing the things that how these things will benefit us? Are these things really is a need for the life of the human being? We have to rationally ask ourselves, how much do we know the commandments of God? And how much we think critically that are these commandments, the do's and don'ts, are really beneficial for us? Is it necessary or is it irrelevant? We must seek through that. God Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that ye men, ye are in need of Allah. And we say, yes, we are in need of Allah. Because we are suffering from spiritual disease. The soul, it also gets sick. So we need a treatment. Like the body, when it gets sick, we need a treatment. So we go to the doctors. And for the treatment of the soul, we need the Creator of the soul. And for the body, it's also given the instruction. So in a nutshell, the purpose is given. But now, we, the human being, with our intellect, we have to analyze it rationally, that the things that is given in the Quran, is it relevant in our daily life? As I was describing, one of my friends, he asked that, look, so I give him the answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He does not require to be praised, but it is we require to worship Him and to follow Him because of our own benefits. And when we read the instructions of the Creator, we find this is reasonable. There is some do's and don'ts. The Quran says, do not kill the other human being. The Quran says you should abstain from alcohol. The Quran says you should not gamble. The Quran says you should not eat these forbidden foods. The Creator knows what things is best for us and what things is bad for us. Being an expert, He knows about His creations. So then my fellow brother, he asked me that, look, we pass all these difficulties. This God of ours who created us, He put all these difficulties and miseries in our life. So I asked him, look, in this life, in this journey of life, we also face difficulty. If you are an employer, sometimes we get stressed in the company that we work. Being in students, we also get stressed when we sit for the examination. And being a worker to any company, we always find some difficulties because every day of the year is not running the same manner. So we have to face difficulties. And in this journey of life, we have also the similar fashions. Because God Almighty, He also describes why He put all these difficulties in our life. Allah the Almighty says in the Quran in Surah Mulk chapter 67 verse 2 that Allazi khalaqal mawta wal hayata. It is Allah the Almighty who created this life as a test. The life and the death is a test for us. So that, the reason is also there. Why He is testing us? So that He can examine us who is best among us in the good deeds. So this life is simply a test for the life in the hereafter. We are passing a test throughout the life. We are passing a difficulties. Sometimes it's difficulty. So the explanation also given in the Quran, what kind of difficulties we can face in this life. In the second chapter of the Quran, Surah Baqarah chapter 2 verse 155, Allah the Almighty says, that surely we will test all the humans with poverty, with hunger, with loss of your wealth, loss of your lives, but we'll give the glad tidings and the rewards to those among you who will bear the patience. So this is very clear that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will surely test the human being. Like we are passing the test every day in life. As a student, we have to pass the examinations. We can't say the teachers that, look, we don't want to sit for the examinations. Because the teacher, he wants to pass all the students. But there is a process, there is a system, that he wanted to know who is the student among all the students follow my teachings. He give a textbook, the teacher, he give a textbook, he gives some text, and he tell the students that after the term you're going to have an examination. And depending on the teachings that the teacher had provided in the class, he make the final examination. Some questions may be very hard, some questions very easy. Why? Because the teacher want to evaluate who is the students who follow his teachings. Similarly, God Almighty, He also knows that what we need. So He gives us as a guidance, a textbook, so that we can listen to Him. And it's very clear in the Quran that if we follow the Quran, we will surely pass. The very first two verses of Surah Baqarah, the Zalikal Kitabu la rayba fihi hudal lil muttaqin. This book, there is no doubt about this. That if you follow this book, you will surely pass the examination and the test. So, all the humans are passing a test in this life. And the test is a requirement because God Almighty, He wanted to evaluate us who is the best performer among us. Like we rationally can say that, look, we believe about the God. We believe about God Almighty.